ask them, they haven't read anything. That is, my friends who would disagree with everything that's been said tonight would have to disagree on the basis of political correctness, multiculturalism, because they can't disagree on the facts. That's the reason that we three sing in concert. We've all read Islam's playbook. And our problem is that we're singing to an audience that has its hands over its ears and its eyes are shut. So the problem that we have is ignorance. But behind the ignorance is a vast fear. Because those who would say that Waleed and I, that we're and Salam are all wrong, Kamal are all wrong, they simply don't know anything about the actual facts of the matter, and the reason they don't want to know the facts is they're frightened. Because if we're right, then somebody's going to have... We talk about can Islam be reformed? My question is, can we as a people be reformed so that we can care about our church, our synagogue, and our Constitution? Because right now, what we care about is, I don't know, Dancing with the Stars or whatever else. I don't watch TV, but I hear about these programs. But it seems as though that the programs are being watched, the fantasy is being seen, but those who have the truth, as this man said, speak to a very small group. Yeah. But we are the ones, the vast American public, the Kafirs are the ones who need reform. It is not Islam that needs reform. I mean, why would Muslims want to fix something that's working? This business of reform, you fix something when it isn't working. Well, we Americans have an expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, Islam is not going to fix itself. It's working like a fire, a forest fire. Yeah. So those are my comments about reform.
That's very good. Thank you. You forgot American Idol, though. I think that's on Tuesday nights that America seems to want to watch. But I like what you said. You said those who do not know do not want to know. And right now I want to turn it over again real quick to Pastor Dwayne, who's going to talk to our audience a little more about this, this new TV station that is supposed to line up programs just like Jihad Exposed for the West in the English language. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good evening again. This is Pastor Dwayne. I hope again that you are very interested in the topics that are being exposed and shared tonight by our experts. What kind of price would you pay for freedom? What kind of price would you put on truth? Can we actually put a dollar value? I would say it's basically everything that we own. Because once we lose our freedom, once we lose our truth, we become slaves to others, and we really don't have a life. History is littered with experiences such as what we were talking about tonight. Different countries, different lands that's been taken over by aggressors, whether it's supposedly peaceful or not. ABN is that voice for you. Whether you have $5, whether you have $10, you might be a small voice. You might feel hopeless tonight, but there's somebody taking up the cause. That is ABN. We are looking to be in Australia. We're looking to be in Europe, and we're looking throughout a heavier force in America with an English-speaking broadcast. What do we need? $400,000. What have we raised? Around $40,000. We're looking to raise this quickly so that by the end of January in 2011, we can see this voice heard throughout the globe, throughout all of these English-speaking lands, that we can expose things such as jihad. We can promote freedom. We can promote the gospel of Jesus Christ, where all are created equal, and that we can live together in peace and with brothers that are truly looked upon as equals. Look inside of what you have tonight to invest. Many people invest in the stock market, but what is greater investment do we have than our own freedom and our own truth? One way you can help is by sending a check that is to P.O. Box 724, Walled Lake, Michigan, area code 48390. Another way to give is to log on to the internet at www.abnsat.com. Or to call in right now. Call in, go to your phone. We take MasterCard, Visa, Discover, and American Express. Even the smallest gift can tell ABN that you support them, that you are part of the team. $5 will encourage those that are carrying the cause on your behalf tonight. And if you can afford it, if you can invest that $100, if you can invest that $500, that'll go a great way in order to continue to educate all those about what jihad is. As the expert said tonight, many American or English-speaking peoples do not understand because they have not read. They do not understand the Arabic language. The one who's going to trumpet that is ABN. Politically correct? No. Do we have to be? Absolutely not. We don't want to be in this day and age. We just want to speak the truth. Speak it clearly so everybody can make that educated decision and make that choice for themselves before somebody chooses for you. So go to your phone, write that check, send that in, support ABN so that your voice can be heard. Samar, back to you.
Jihad has come to America.
It constitutes the most devastating series of terrorist attacks in history.
The only deen Allah accepts is Al-Islam. And whoever seeks any other deen apart from Islam will never be accepted.
Allahu Akbar!
And we stand together to win the war against terrorism.
But you too will make your destruction.
Welcome back to Jihad Exposed, live on ABN. Our lines are still open, yet we only have 10 minutes left on the show. If you don't get through, make sure you tune in next week for another episode. There actually came an email from one of our viewers, so I want to address that email question to Kamal, and then we'll turn it to Waleed. Kamal, I'm just going to read it to you real quick, and then you can address it. This individual says, why do we hear Muslim leaders talk about the return of Islam? In quotations, what does that mean? Is it in a political sense? Is it an eruption of Islam into the political landscape? Can you address that?
It's definitely the final call of Islam, and Islam is trying to fulfill the call of Islam that made by Muhammad. And today, this call will be their final stand. This is where Islam is throwing everything that they have on this today. Like, for example, media. We're talking about ABN. ABN is a media station that is trying to bring something that is not bought by the Soros money, like Marxist monies, or by Saudi money, Prince bin Talal, which is they buy in every news station. So therefore, in order to shut everything out and bring about Islam, it is done by financial jihad. And financial jihad, it is one of the greatest power which is penetrating even, coming to Israel, because today they are buying, media in Israel to change the culture from within. This is why we need to stand with the superhero station, ABN, and make the difference with them. And this is good return on investment. That's what they call it in, business world. I'm sorry, I'm stepping outside a little bit, but it's important to know that people out there, that ABN is one of the most important thing can happen to everybody, because freedom is not for free. And what ABN is bringing is something special that nobody else will offer out there. And I'm honored to be on your show. But I'm going to step outside of this, and I want to talk one more thing. It's Islam on 9/11. They fulfilled their ways of love. What my brother said, in Israel, is this is their way of love, is to conquer the world and bring about Allah, because this is what feeling sorry and feeling bad for the world, because they are living as kafirs, so they have to Islamicize them. And so therefore, while the Buddhists, the Hindus, the Chintus and the Christians and the Jews on 9/11, as the towers were falling, they were sending email messages and phone messages of love and hate and love and forgiveness to their enemy, and all of it was prayers. While Islam fulfilled their love prayers, which is throwing their life and the airplane on buildings and killing thousands of innocent people. These are the two different ways of love. When they try to control the world, they are loving the world in the style of Allah and Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, and it's a mandate.
With that, let's take our final call of the evening, then we'll turn it back to Waleed. Welcome to ABN. Hello, you're live on ABN. Yes, go ahead. You have about a minute.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. You have about a minute to ask your question.
Yeah, I feel let's not consider Islam a religion.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Islam is only act of violence, so we have to treat Islam teaching as criminal book and fanatic Muslim imam and clerks as criminals. They produce terrorists to the whole world by their teaching.
Yes. Did you? Okay.
Put Muhammad himself in trial for the people around the world to see his crimes, the crimes that he committed to the people in his time, and the whole world can see it for themselves to see how did he kill the older woman by tying her into two trees and split her into two, and how did he send someone to a woman when she was sleeping with a little baby to kill her, and he was so happy raising the people to kill her for doing that. So Islam is only about killing and to be killed. It's for the destruction of the humanity all over the world. And this has to stop. By teaching people around the world what Islam is about, this would stop people from following Islam. And we have to treat his follower, as criminals too, because if they follow his rules for everyone, see how many terrorist acts around the world, and this is coming from Islam teaching, because Islam is only about terrorism. So it's very dangerous for America, for everywhere, for Europe, for everywhere, every non-Muslim. Even Muslim countries, they suffer from Islam too. Yeah. They're looking like, you can see them as Dracula. They have to see blood, either to kill non-Muslim or to kill themselves. And that's what's happening now in Iraq. Why? Because they have the devil teaching. And the devil always hates human beings. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. We appreciate that final call. It is hard to stop, but we don't believe that it's impossible to stop Islam, and that's what we're here to do today. Waleed, what should and could the U.S. do now about political Islam, whether to build awareness or to protect the country from it or to simply demolish it? What should and could the U.S. do?
It's not something that can be reformed. We discussed that. It's something that needs to be demolished, of course. The U.S. dealt with Islam before. In fact, the United States Navy was constructed because it was dealing with Islamic piracy. And this is why we have in the Marines the song, "From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli." Legislation is the solution to Islam. First of all, we have to protect our borders by stopping the influx of students and immigrants to basically learn a lesson from Europe first. Oklahoma was a right step in the right direction. And of course, a judge overthrew it. Hopefully, the American people will rise and begin to address this issue. Our friend also said that it's an issue of ignorance, and basically we're disorganized. But you see, the problem is not a problem of ignorance or disorganization, because I made the statement and the argument. The point was that the progressives do agree with the Islamists. The part that is ignorant and disorganized is the church. And sometimes the church is ignorant because they seem to focus only on certain aspects of the Bible. When you talk to pastors in the church, they say, well, we are here to preach the gospel. Well, we're all supposed to preach the gospel, but the Bible was not given to us in 4 spiritual laws in a booklet. There is an entire Bible. The Bible did address Islam. We have to go back to our biblical origin and see if the Bible did address this issue. The concept, the whole eschatological teaching in the Bible and end times is really addressing Islam. And I love the point of the question that came, which Kamal alluded to, return of Islam. Why do we say the return?